detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Akosia Oche.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
In the national interest, I proceed to adjourn the sittings of this meeting till the 2nd of January.
Government shutdown looms as Parliament goes on break without approving the much-needed special budget for the first 3 months of 2025. We'll hear what the consequence would be from January 1st. Also, coming up, Inspector General Police to deploy soldiers to collation centers after the NPP secured a court order for the continuation of the recollation.
There will be a joint police and military deployment for the exercise. We wish to caution the public that non-accredited persons will not be permitted at the centers.
And later, and still related, President-elect John Dramani Mahama slams Electoral Commission, asking it to be consistent in its dealings. We'll be hearing more on what his position is. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Ghana's economy forecasted to grow by 3.6% in 2025, and this is according to Data Bank.
That's in 50 minutes from the City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations. In the Ahafo region, we are on Hammers Radio 106.5 in Gosu. In the Western region, we are on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM. Both are based in the capital, Takrady. In the Bono region, we are in the capital, Sunyani, via Greener 95.9 FM. In the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, we are on Orange 107.9 FM. In the Volta region, we are in Hohwe on Heritage 107.3 FM and Akpini Radio 96.7 FM in Pando. In the Northern region, we are in the traditional capital of Dagbon, Yendi, on Dasuma 99.1 FM. In the Upper East region, we are in Zuarungu on Word 88.3 FM. In the Upper West region, we are in Laura on Westlink 88.1 FM. In the Northeast region, we are in Wale on Eagle 94.1 FM. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, and we are also live on Twitter, now known as X. Just look for @Citi FM or @Citi 973, and you would be seeing a handle plus everything that is happening here in the studio. You can also send your messages. If it's on Twitter, now known as X, just mention me @Umaru Sanda or @Citi 973. On WhatsApp, the number is 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. We start off from Parliament. Akosia.
And the Speaker, Alban Bagbing, has assured parliamentary proceedings parliamentary proceedings to January 2, 2025, after the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, failed to present the 2025 mini-budget as anticipated. Or the mini-budget, a constitutional requirement, was expected to outline the government's financial projections and also policy priorities for the first quarter of the upcoming year. The development has also raised concerns of a potential government shutdown. Here's the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin.
In the spirit of the agreement and in the national interest, I proceed to adjourn the sittings of this meeting till the 2nd of January 2025. Honourable members, the sittings of this meeting have been adjourned to the 2nd of January 2025. It is so declared.
That was the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. Now speaking to the media after the adjournment, Minority Leader Dr. Kaysel Atoforsin expressed his disappointment over the Finance Minister's failure to meet the constitutional obligation.
In the spirit of good transition, it is expected that the outgoing President, acting pursuant to Article 180 of the Constitution, would have acted in good faith and bring before this Parliament a proposal for expenditure to cater for the first quarter of the year 2025. This was very important because the Corporation Act for 2025 will come into force on will not come into force on 1st of January 2025. Sadly, President Akufo-Addo planned to leave the public service uncatered for in the first quarter of the year 2025. However, let me give assurance to the people of Ghana and all stakeholders that the NDC government that will take office on the 7th of January 2025 will act with dispatch to cater for expenditure for the first quarter of the year 2025. There's no cause for alarm, ladies and gentlemen. Even though there will be no finance minister on the 7th of January 2025, the Vice President can present to this House expenditure in advance of appropriation anytime after swearing in on the 7th of January 2025. And this House will be properly constituted to expedite the approval of the same expenditure in advance of appropriation. While we are very disappointed about this development, we want to caution the outgoing Akufo-Addo Bawumia government that they will be responsible for all unmet commitment and obligation of state from the 1st of January to the 7th of January 2025.
Minority Leader Dr. Kaysel Atoforsin. Meanwhile, the Majority Leader Alexander Penyumakin attributed the inability of the Finance Minister to present the mini-budget to what he deems as the lawlessness of the minority group.
The problem was not about the Finance Minister. The problem is about the lawless NDC opposition. It's as simple as that. You recall that the Finance Minister was ready as far back as November. That was when they started their lawlessness, coming to occupy our seats. They would not allow government business to proceed. You should ask yourself, what suddenly changed? Why is it that when Mr. Speaker gave notice of Parliament resuming sitting on the 16th, why is it that immediately they came, they went to their own seats? Why did they avoid the struggle? Nobody prompted them, they went there. The Finance Minister brought this letter to Parliament, Office of the Clerk, 23rd of October. The letter is dated 22nd of October. This is responsible government. This is a government that is responsible, that wants to act within the confines of our laws. This was brought. I will give a copy to the media. It is as a result of the NDC's lawlessness. That is why we are where we are. And we are calling on Mr. Speaker to take control and demonstrate his firmness to stop the lawlessness of the NDC minority. Enough of the violence, enough of the chaos. That is why what happens next week, we are saying that as a responsible government, anytime Mr. Speaker convenes Parliament, it's not within our powers to convene Parliament. Anytime we had recalled Parliament, these same people were chastising us. They would even announce that they wouldn't even come. You recall, before the elections, we recalled Parliament to do government business. They said they wouldn't take any of that, and they didn't come. Mr. Speaker wrote in response to my memo that because of the closeness of the election, the Parliament could not be reconvened. So we've done our bit, and we'll continue to work in the interest of Ghanaians. Yes, graphic. We have never given any condition. They are the ones who are giving conditions. Today we did the addendum. For some strange, mysterious reasons, the free SHS bill was taken off the order paper. I had to cause the reprinting of the order paper, an addendum of the order paper to have the free SHS bill. Why are they against the free SHS bill? Why don't they want the free SHS bill to be passed? We are saying that if we come back, if Mr. Speaker should recall Parliament, we would ensure that in spite of their lawlessness, we will table the expenditure on account.
Alexander Penyomakin is the majority leader.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. So it's apparent that there would be no budget to cater for the first quarter of 2025, at least not until the House resumes on the 2nd of January after the Speaker suspended the House. There was talk of the House sitting on Saturday tomorrow, but that clearly would not be happening. The budget has not been presented. So what's the consequence of that? Professor John Gachi has been watching our space, economic space, for decades. He's a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast and he's an economist. I'll be speaking to him in a jiffy to understand exactly what it is, the situation. In fact, I have him back on the line. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. First of all, what is this special budget that is presented for the first quarter of the year? What is this expected to take care of?
Well, per the law, this is supposed to take care of statutory payments, such as payment of salary, payment of repayment of debt, and other liabilities. So that is the excess.
Okay.
For the first 3 months of next year, so that the new government will prepare to present a budget that will align with its policies and programs.
So it is presented by the outgoing government for the incoming government.
Yes, because it is envisaged that the year is ending, so the outgoing government will have to do that because the incoming government doesn't have mandate during this period. It is the outgoing government that has the mandate. So it's supposed to present that mini budget to cover the 3 months of next year.
So 31st December is the end of the financial year. What does it mean to the budget that was presented by this the finance minister for this particular year? What does it mean? Does it mean we cannot continue to expend on the public purse whatsoever after 31st December?
Yes, we cannot spend it because the mandate of the new government is predicated on its programs that it wants to undertake for the people of Ghana. Therefore, its budget should reflect the policies and programs that it has in mind. But it's just that by experience, if you allow the new government to start, because they didn't have mandate, they cannot present a budget. So that is why that is created to cater for the 3 months.
What is a practical... Okay, go ahead.
However, now that we have seen that will not happen, what it means is that as soon as the new government comes into force, they need to take steps to present the 3 month budget for consideration to keep the system running before they present the actual budget at the end of March.
What's the practical consequence of the failure to submit or deliver this budget statement before the new year?
Well, the practical consequence would have arisen if the handover is close to the end of the year. But the handover is just in the first week of January. Therefore, I expect the new government to put its house in order to make sure this mini budget is passed the very week that it swore into office.
No, I'm referring to the failure to deliver the budget now. What does it mean from January 1st? What is the consequence?
January 1st, Yeah, what it means is that you cannot make any expenditure from January 1st.
Can you practicalize that? When you say you cannot make any expenditure, practicalize it. So what and what cannot happen?
Yeah. For example, if there is some liability due to be paid, you cannot pay it. That is what it means. If there is any debt that you are supposed to pay interest, for example, in first week in January, you cannot pay it because nobody has mandate to spend public fund at that period in time. But the point I'm making is that the more serious one is the payment of salaries for workers, and I am indicating that being the fact that we only have 1 week to be locked down. After that 1 week, the new government should quickly pass this mini budget so that salaries will not be at risk.
But at least salaries for December would have been paid already. So if there's going to be any problem, it will be salaries for January. But you reckon that can be taken care of because there's a possibility that the new government under Article 180 of the Constitution can come immediately after it's sworn in, or it becomes effective to deliver that budget.
Exactly so.
Okay, now let's look at whether or not this has happened before. Do you remember this happening before?
Well, I can't remember that happened before. It seems to me that it's a precedent, but it creates some difficulty also because per Article 180 and then the Public Financial Management Act at 921, the obligation from the constitutional point of view, every budget is the budget of the president, being delivered by either finance minister or anybody that he chooses to present for him. So this reluctance or refusal to present the budget is actually the president who is refusing to present the budget.
The new
when you go to
right.
When you go to Public Financial Management Act under appropriation, you put this obligation on the finance minister. So if you want to read the Constitution and the Public Financial Management Act together, I would believe that the blame will go to the President of the Republic and not to the Finance Minister. So it's the President of the Republic that has decided to deny Ghanaians what the Constitution provides for them to enjoy.
The new government can deliver a budget to take care of 3 months, but that's going to be difficult, wouldn't it? Because does the new government know how many employees there are? Does the new government know what plans and expenditure issues are outstanding that ought to be dealt with? Does the new government have the full briefing notes of the outgoing minister to know what there is that ought to be dealt with? Does he even know the number of people on the public wage bill? Is it not going to be difficult to do that? So are you just going to estimate a raw figure to allow you be able to dip your hands into the pot? You need to be specific when you present a budget. There should be line items. How is the new government going to find all these things?
Yeah, from governance point of view, that is not a problem because that will be handed over. The new government and the outgoing government are going to transition. They have a fair idea. The engagement with the finance minister, there is engagement with the controller and accountant general, there is engagement with the Bank of Ghana governors and the rest. So the new government has a fair idea about how many people are on the payroll, how many people are supposed to be paid. So to a large extent, that should not be a huge problem. It will be a challenge, but that will not be a huge one.
I see. That's interesting. So it shouldn't be a problem. It can be presented on January 8th, and government will know, the new government will really know what it is up to. But there's another issue where the very ceremony to induct the new government and also to induct the new parliament would be done next year, which means there should be budgetary allocation for doing that ceremony, the swearing-in ceremony for both the parliament and the president. Now that you have no budget to spend as a new government or even an old government, there will be no ceremony, would there?
No, not at all. There will be a ceremony, because that ceremony will be taken care of by the close of this year. And I do not say that will actually prevent anything.
Under what category would it be taken care of?
I think they have planned for all those things in this year.
Okay, so it means that there would be a handover of power, and there will be continuation.
There will be handing over of power. In any case, there is nothing like a constitutional provision about handing over. If you are not in power, you are not in power. If your term ends on January 6 midnight. If you decide not to engage in handing over, that is your business. There's nothing like power is transferred when handing over is undertaken.
Can the outgoing government be compelled in any way to do this before Parliament finally expires on the midnight of January 6 into January 7? Or you reckon this outgoing government should be left to be? There's no need to push it to come and present this budget, let's say next week, Monday or Tuesday?
Well, that is possible up to 31st December. That is possible.
But now that the House is has been adjourned to 2nd January, practically...
They can be called back if the president realizes that it is he who is refusing to present the budget to serve it the people of Ghana. So if he comes to that consciousness that he cannot play with Ghanaians regarding comparing tax exemption with a mini budget, then that can be done. But if he is not conscious about that, then we cross over to next year, and we face the consequences thereof.
Very well.
The point I'm making is that the new government will not sit by to place untold difficulty on Ghanaians just because the president has failed to live up to its constitutional and statutory mandate.
This new budget that the government will be presenting within those few days, clearly that will not be the budget that will take care of what the grand agenda of the John Mahama administration would be, would it? So this would just be the normal procedural budget that will be presented. The key budget that highlights what the prospects or the plans of the government would be, that we would see later in the year, wouldn't we?
Yes. We are talking about the mini budget that will take care of statutory payment, salaries, payment of debt and liabilities, any other important payment that is due within the next 3 months. And by March, thereabout, then the full budget that will reflect the policies and the aspiration of the new government for the people of Ghana will come to force.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you.
That's Professor John Gachi. He's economist with the University of Cape Coast. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. My name is Umaru Sandamad here with Akosia Ochre. So the essence of what we just said to you or shared with you is that Parliament has gone on break, Christmas break. The House will be reconvening on 2nd January 2025, as has been instructed by the Speaker or announced by the Speaker. Now, there's a special budget that ought to have been presented a few weeks ago, if not a few months ago, to cater for the first 3 months of next year. Because as you would know, even if MPP were to win, there would be a new government from January 7. And so there would be a need for that new government to present its budget. But the crafters of our laws have decided that there should be a budget that is presented ahead of time to take care of the first 3 months. Unfortunately, that budget has not been presented by Dr. Amin Adam, the Minister for Finance. There was expectation that would happen this week. That has failed. And today it did not happen. The House has gone on recess. The minority has said that when they reconvene or if they form the new government on January 7, 2025, they would come under Article 180 of the Constitution where the president can then quickly have that budget presented to enable or prevent a shutdown. Now, the majority side, Alexander Fenyomaki, you've heard him there saying that this particular shutdown and the failure to deliver the budget is the doing of the NDC side, which he said was engaging in an act that he thought was unparliamentary. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. When we come back, we'll go to the Collation Center where the NPP has secured a court directive to the EC to continue with the re-collation exercise. The police administration has said it will be sending soldiers to the collation centers to help with the collation. We have more on that when we come back. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
National Health Insurance.
Today, I will tell you why you need to have health insurance cover by the National Health Insurance Scheme. With over 500 medicines on the NHIS medicines list to take care of you and an extensive NHIS benefit package, the NHIS offers you financial risk protection against over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. These include the 4 most common childhood cancers: breast cancer treatment, oral and eye care, free maternal health care from antenatal, normal delivery, forceps or cesarean section, and what's more, postnatal care is also covered under the NHIS. Remember, members aged 70 years and above also enjoy free elderly health care and pay no premiums or observe a waiting period. Let no one tell you otherwise. The NHIS guarantees your seamless access to healthcare. For further details, download the My NHIS app from Play Store or the App Store, or simply walk into any of the NHIS district offices nationwide. Terms and conditions apply. Call us on 054-444-6447 or 0302-746-447 for further inquiries. NHIS, your access to healthcare. This message is brought to you by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID.
Hi, Aku. I just got the estimate for the home repairs. It's more than we expected. I'm really stressed about where to find the money.
Why worry, Musa? You are a salaried worker. Haven't you heard about the GCB personal loan promo? They can give you up to 700,000 Ghana cedis in less than 24 hours at a significantly reduced interest rate and fees.
Really? This sounds exciting, but is it easy to apply?
Super easy. Skip the stress. Get the cash with the GCB personal loan promo with a 1-month repayment holiday. Just visit a GCB bank branch near you or call 0302-634-922. Toll free 0800-422-422. No hassle, no stress.
Wow! I just got a notification. The loan is already in my account. That was fast.
Skip the stress and get the cash you need with GCB personal loan. Visit a branch near you today. Terms and conditions apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now let's talk about elections. It is true the MPP has lost the election, the presidential level, and also at the parliamentary level. John Dramani Mahama is the president-elect. He'll be sworn in. That is certain. But what is not certain is who and who are going to be in Parliament. Now, we do have a huge number of MPs who have been elected, but there are also some MPs whose elections are being contested. Now, there was a recollation happening that has been suspended. There have been court processes. It is a complex set of issues. So we brought in Fred Duho, who is our man who's been covering all the issues relating to the coalition, the court processes, the injunctions, and all of those issues that came up. Fred, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Sander.
So we've seen latest development is NDC going to court, and then MPP was in court. But before these two, where are we with the coalition?
The coalition has halted, basically because the NDC was the first to run to the court seeking that they want to place injunction on the Nsawam Idrijiri coalition. And so during that particular coalition exercise, which was halted by that action by the NDC, that led to the entire day wasted, and in actual fact there was no coalition done on that day, and the entire thing was suspended. So the EC directed that every coalition or re-coalition be suspended until further notice. And we've seen in press statements as well as press conferences held by the EC indicating that they would find a date fixed for which, if security measures are put in place to ensure maximum security in their own words, that would mean that they would be safe enough, or their staff would be okay enough to work under the security and supervision of the police or the election security task force. And so the coalition has been suspended, and the outstanding centers or constituencies that were left for that day before the entire thing was suspended. I remember very well the much contested one in Nsawam Idrijiri constituency, which was fraught with a lot of issues from the very first day. That particular coalition lasted for 2 days, and it was left with about 31 pink sheets to finish. But that didn't happen because the NDC went to court. The NPP later went to court, also seeking that they get the EC to proceed with its work, and so they got that clearance from the court, as we rightly published in the media, that indeed the EC has been asked by the court to proceed with the coalition exercise for the remaining constituencies. That of the NDC, we understand a date will be fixed for them to, for the court to hear their side of the case as to whether to proceed with the injunction that they are seeking to place on the Nsawam Idrijiri constituency, as well as other constituencies that are under contention. So for the NPP, they are going to make sure that the 9 constituencies that are left, talk of the Tema Central, Ablekuma North, Okankwe Central, they mentioned the other constituencies alongside. So in all, there are 9 of these constituencies that the NPP says they are going to make sure the EC does the recollation and declaration of same. And the NDC, their stand remains that for the constituencies that were earlier declared by EC officials at the various coalition or constituency levels, those ones, they will not allow for them to be recollated and redeclared, because the redeclaration or the declaration has been done already. But for the NPP, they are saying that all those constituencies would come together to, give meaning to the transparency that they are all preaching. They feel that the allegation that the electoral officers did those declarations under duress and under certain unsafe conditions, the insecurity surrounding it, they did not and would not condone such, and so they moved to the court, asking the court to demand that Electoral Commission proceed to collate those results and make the declaration in that regard.
So where we are now is that no collation is happening. Court has ordered that there should be collation. The NDC has gone to court to say to the court that the order that was given should be varied so that there will be no collation.
Exactly the case. And the NDC is seeking those constituencies that in actual fact they claim there has been some collation done and declaration by EC officials in those constituencies. Where we are currently, the Okankwe Central is one of them. Ablikman North is one of them. The Tema Central is another. And so they are saying that the constituencies that were already declared by the officials of the EC, those ones, they would not agree for them to have another collation done and declaration of same declared. And so they would not permit anything like that to go on. But in court today, even though I wasn't there and I've read all the broadcasts that colleagues brought in, it points to the fact that the court has directed basically that the EC should now go and do those collations again. The only thing here, Sandra, is that the EC is yet to fix a date for those collations to be done. So as we speak, there are 9 outstanding constituencies that we are expecting the EC to announce a date to do recollation and collation in some cases for those constituencies to have the MPs elect.
Thank you so much, Fred Duho of the City Newsroom, who has been following the collation and all the drama surrounding same. Now, while all of this is happening, the police administration says it will be sending soldiers to this particular collation center. Now, ACP Grace Ansa is the Director of Public Affairs with the Ghana Police Service. She is also the spokesperson for the Election Security Task Force. Let's listen to her.
The task force assured the Electoral Commission of its readiness to provide the needed security for the outstanding collations. In addition, the Commission reminded the task force that during the collation, only individuals accredited by the Commission should be allowed access to the collation centers. In this regard, there will be a joint police and military deployment for the exercise. We wish to caution the public that non-accredited persons will not be permitted at the centers. Also, the task force would like to urge the political parties to refrain from inciting their supporters to mass up at the collation centers to disrupt the process. We wish to state that throughout the election period, including this post-election phase, the National Election Security Task Force has put Ghana first. We have put the peace and security of the country first, and we will continue to do so.
That's ACP Grace Ansa Krofi. She's Director of Public Affairs with the Ghana Police Service, and she speaks for the Election Security Task Force. Let's go on the phone lines and speak to Eduji Kojo Tamaklo. He's Director of Legal Affairs for the National Democratic Congress. You're welcome to Eyewitness News. Before I ask you to explain the processes you filed in court, what do you make of this decision to send soldiers to the collation center? It appears that you political parties have become so rowdy that the EC had to run to the police and the police had to run to the soldiers.
Hello, Omaro.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. My question, I'm sure you did not hear me. I'm saying that before I ask you about the processes you filed in court, I wanted to know what you make of the decision by the police administration to bring soldiers to the coalition center. It appears that your supporters have become so unruly that there's a need for military men to be brought to the coalition center based on what the police administration is saying, based on what the EC has said earlier.
Omaro, I'm not aware of any directive from the police or the IGP inviting the military to, as it were, help with any process. I'm not aware.
Okay, I just played the sound bite or the voice of ACP Grace Ansakrofi. She's Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service. She speaks for the Election Security Task Force, and she has said that they are going to deploy soldiers and police personnel to support them, or to deploy soldiers to support the police at the collation center, because the Electoral Commission is preparing to resume collation of results for outstanding constituencies.
Oh, Omaru, what I can just say is that late days today, we have filed at the Registry of the Supreme Court 2 processes, and these processes we have served on the Inspector General of Police. That is all that I can say.
What process is that?
Oh, there is a judicial review application. I mean, like we've invoked the supervisory jurisdiction of the Apex Court. We have also, on the basis of that, applied to stay the execution of the orders directed as the IGP or anybody working under his direction or control. That I can confirm.
To do what or not to do what?
To stop him from doing what he has been asked to do.
Which is what?
Omaru, I'm sure once you get a process with respect, I do not want to appear as arguing my matter here. I only just...
I'm not asking you to argue. I want you to educate my listeners on why you went to court.
To, as it were, to stay the execution of the order of the High Court, directing the IGP to provide security for whatever the EC wants to do.
Why are you asking the police not to... Okay, so why are you asking a court to vary an earlier decision of the court on instructions to the police to support the electoral process for coalition?
Once the decision of that court is not the final, or does not have the final say, why not? Once we've resorted to the use of legitimate legal means, I think that should be worthy, right?
So essentially you are trying to say that the coalition should not happen at all, and so the police should also be restricted from even going to support or provide security for that coalition to happen.
That is so. That is so. And we have duly served it on the IGP or his officers.
Is it automatic injunction, the fact that you've served it on him?
I don't get you.
What I mean is that because you've served him, it means he cannot send his men to Tesano. Is that what it means? Is that the consequence?
I'm sure the lawyers will advise him what to do.
No, I'm just asking for education. Is that the consequence of this service?
No, no, that's what I'm saying, that the IG has lawyers. His lawyers would advise him what he should do.
So
everything on earth has consequences.
So you want this whole process put on ice until when or until what?
That's for the court to decide. They fix the date for such hearings.
No, you don't get my question. My question is, so you have injuncted the process until what is done or until when, based on your own plans for going to court?
Oh, no. I mean, I want to believe, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I hear that the Supreme Court has set up a panel to hear my application tomorrow morning, I will gladly put on my wig and gown and go and argue it.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us.
I appreciate the time.
That's Eduji Tamaklo. He's Director of Legal Affairs of the National Democratic Congress. Let's go to the Electoral Commission. Fred Tete is in charge of research at the Electoral Commission. Mr. Tete, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Where is the Electoral Commission now? And when I say where, not by geographical location, but in terms of situation, where are you in the in this whole brouhaha surrounding the recollation or the coalition?
Well, thank you for having me. As the Commission said at yesterday's press conference by the chairperson of the Commission, the Commission is waiting for security. If security is provided, then the Commission can go ahead.
Have
so
you...
We are hearing...
Okay, continue.
Yeah, we are hearing news of a press conference held this afternoon by the National Election Security Task Force. I think from what we are hearing is a good news. And if that's the case, then the Commission will be able to go on with the collation process to bring it to a disclosure.
How soon can you do the collation?
It's a decision of the Commission, and I believe the Commission will come out with.
Has the police... Okay, so the police did a press conference today and said they are ready to provide you with security, and they would even bring the soldiers to come and support you. But a few minutes ago, we saw a process that was filed by the NDC, which process is injuncting the Inspector General of Police from proceeding any further. That appears to have thrown sticks in the spokes of your works.
You are telling me, I think so far we've not heard it anything like that. So the Commission will look at the situation and then come out. So hopefully the Commission will communicate to the public as to the way forward.
Just to be sure, how many constituencies are outstanding at the parliamentary level for recollation or for collation?
We're talking about 9.
So 9 outstanding. And are you going to do all of them at a single location, or you'd go to specific constituencies for some of them?
Yes, is this Sanda?
Yes, please.
Yes. The Commission will come out very soon, looking at what we've gone through over the period, whether this time that the Commission decided to relocate the collation centers to Depot and then the Greater Accra Regional Office will come out.
Do you have any outstanding constituencies for presidential election results at yet among the list of constituencies that you are yet to deal with?
I'm not sure about that.
So the outstanding collation is just for parliamentary election, not for presidential.
Parliamentary, yes.
Very well. How bad is or was the security situation for you?
It was bad. For me, I've never heard of an election in Ghana where, at gunpoint, a returning officer is being coerced to declare results. It has never happened. It has never happened.
Are you using gunpoint figuratively, or you are saying that there was actually a gun pointed to someone's head to declare results?
There was. Threatening of death and all those things. There was.
Where is it? Where?
I don't know whether you watch the. I can't put my hand on specific because the constituencies are many. Have you seen the video of Tema Central?
No, please.
Yes, you go back and watch carefully the video of Tema Central. How the district electoral officer stomach is being hit, he should declare. With
a gun pointed to his head.
I'm not talking about Tema Central gunpoint. I'm talking about even Tema Central, the way the district officer was even assaulted for him to declare.
Yes, I'm interested more in the gun part because that sounded scary for me. I have seen videos where there was what appeared to be pressure on the returning officer, but I mean the part about the gun is what I really wanted to be sure.
Specific location, I don't have it. I think you called me in the middle of a program. I'll get back to you on that.
Very well. So if all things are sorted, you expect to go ahead and do this. Now there are lots of NDC people who are writing on social media that the Electoral Commission is simply not backing down, even though the NPP presidential candidate has backed down, and that you are trying to, quote and unquote, steal the parliamentary seats for the NPP to deny them the 2/3 majority in Parliament. What will be your response to these comments?
Yeah, Sanda, how can that happen? You see, when you read the CI 127, when you read Regulation 43, Sub-Regulation 1 and 2, it talks about the proceedings, okay? And talking about the procedures, it talks about the procedures to its conclusive point where it terminates. And the point of termination is where the results for parliamentary has been gazetted, and then the clerk of parliament informed. How could the results be gazetted if we've not completed the process? Okay? How can you declare results? You know, in parliamentary, we're looking at the first past the post. And in first past the post, one vote can elect a member of parliament. One vote can make a difference. And therefore, you cannot, under that formula, declare results for a constituency with some of the polling station results missing or not captured or not included in the collation process. That one is not like a presidential where you're talking about absolute majority. No. So all that the commission has been saying, we need security to be able to conclude the process. After it has been gazetted, declared, and then gazetted. And I would like to go back to the issue of declare. Declaration has to be made by the person in law. And who is the person in law? The returning officer for the constituency or any of his deputies.
Mr. Tete, okay. So yeah. Talking about the law, the CI, and the procedure, the people who did the declaration for Tema Central, for Okaikwe Central, they are persons in law as you quoted. You may argue that they made those decisions under duress, which duress has to be proven in a court of law. But you also admit that the law has stated that once a declaration is done by a returning officer, any challenge to that would have to arise through a petition at the High Court. Why do we have to then have a recollation? There are people who think that the recollation is actually unlawful.
No. Sanda, if you're talking about the Tema Central one, you see, I made specific reference to the returning officer of the constituency. The case of Tema, it is the district officer for Tema West that declared the results for Tema Central. Is it lawful? And are the district officers giving the writ? Are they the people to conduct the elections or the returning officers? So you see,
what about Okaikwe? What about Okaikwe Central? Who did the declaration?
In the case, just like what I said, that all the polling stations results, because of the first past the post system, all polling station results must be factored in before you can finish the process and declare the results.
So where there are outstanding polling station results, there cannot be a declaration, even though the parties have said to us that, at least the NDC has said to us that there are instances where, based on a certain percentage of the polling stations, you can go ahead and declare.
Where in law? I would like to ask you, whoever said that you quote the law, which percentage? There's no percentage in first past the poll system. There's no percentage of 80%, 70% of polling station results collated and then you declare. In first past the poll system that we use for parliamentary, there's no percentage, there's no law. I don't know whether it's not in the CI 127. Neither is it in the law 284.
Our correspondent who was with you at Tesano Collation Center, Fred Duho, says that the Suhum constituency result was declared without 6 polling center results. What does it mean to the Suhum result as well then?
I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Fred Tete. He's a Director of Research with the Electoral Commission. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Kosia, you have a related story, don't you?
Yes, the President-elect John Mahama has been calling on the Electoral Commission to act in a principled manner and be consistent in its decision. Or the EC announced that it will not uphold the declaration of parliamentary results in 9 constituencies as they were unable as they were made under duress. Or however, Mahama argues that the EC cannot apply different rules to similar situations. He addressed the African ambassadors and high commissioners at his office earlier today.
There was a particular case in 2020, and the Electoral Commission came out clearly that if a declaration had been made, it was not the duty of the Electoral Commission to adjudicate it. The courts were the right place to go. They are saying that some were under duress. In the case of Techimansa, it was under duress. There were soldiers in the collation room. There was chaos in the collation room when the declaration was made. And the same arguments were passed that, there should be a recollation. And the Electoral Commission said, no, there can't be any recollation once a declaration has been made. In the same circumstances, declarations have been made. If people have a grievance, they must go to the courts and redress those grievances there. We don't think that the goalpost should be shifted depending on who is at the other end of the stick. There's one particular case in which there was no declaration. We can understand that. And so the Electoral Commission has to make a determination what happens. Is there going to be a rerun? How are they going to be able to collate those results? And so we think that there must be fairness and justice in everything that we do. And
that was John Dramani Mahama, President-elect. Now, away from that, the minority in Parliament says Ghana risks facing a cholera epidemic if the Akufo-Addo government fails to take immediate and decisive action. While addressing journalists, the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena said the dereliction of duty that contributed to the NPP's electoral misfortune must not be compounded by their inaction in addressing the public health emergency.
The daily situational report on cholera are deeply alarming. For instance, in the Western region, on December 17th, just 3 days ago, 123 cases and 15 deaths were recorded in a single day. Disturbingly, healthcare workers are also falling victim to the outbreak, with 15 healthcare workers infected while caring for patients in the region. Without immediate and decisive interventions, Ghana risks facing a full-blown cholera epidemic before the incoming administration takes over from the outgoing MPP regime. It is deeply concerning that what could have been a minor cholera outbreak has instead exposed the fragility of our healthcare system. This outbreak, which should have been controlled weeks ago, continues to escalate due to the systemic neglect and inefficiency. The minority urges government to act swiftly and decisively to address these challenges by ensuring resources are adequately allocated and healthcare workers are provided with the support they need to contain the outbreak.
That was ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Menta Akando. Now, on this issue, the Ghana Medical Association has released a statement, and it's signed by Dr. Frank Serebo, president of the Ghana Medical Association, and it reads that Ghana Medical Association has noted with concern the escalation of the cholera outbreak in parts of the country. Now, from the initial outbreak recorded in August 2024, which was declared over in September, and the onset of the current outbreak in October 2024, 265 cases have been confirmed, with 32 deaths reported. Now, the association warns that the current situation may worsen as we enter the festive period if immediate measures are not implemented to stop the spread.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. sector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make I feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Joe Pana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Fun fact, did you know that most frogs can leap more than 20 times their body length? Yup, magical. Now just imagine your business with that kind of reach. Take that leap with Frog. Frog is a bulk SMS, voice messaging, and IVR from Wiggle. User-friendly, fast, and reliable. Get more features on one platform for all your bulk messaging needs. Whether you're a church, financial institution, school, corporate organization, or individual, if you need to reach people with your services, do it with Frog. Contact 0553 019 529 or 0552 809 558. Speak to us at www.wiggle.com.gh. Frog, a leap into greatness.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Hello there, welcome to Friday edition of the Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Akusia Oche. The details. Data Bank research is projecting a 3.6% growth for Ghana's economy in 2025. All this is contained in its Ghana Market Outlook 2025 report, and Citi Business News' Daniel Sakiti has the details.
The anticipated growth is attributed to political and economic transitions that often accompany a change in government. Following Ghana's recent general elections, the incoming administration is expected to introduce new policy priorities and strategies. While these measures are aimed at fostering long-term growth, the adjustment period and efforts to consolidate the previous government's achievements could lead to slower policy implementation and subdued sector activities in the short to medium term. Recent data from the Ghana Statistical Service underscores the country's robust economic recovery. Cumulative economic growth for the third quarter of 2024 was 7.2%, representing a notable increase from the 6.9% growth registered in the second quarter of the same year. This rebound has been a significant boost for Ghana as the government continues its efforts to restructure the country's debts. Sectoral contributions to GDP reviews the services sector as the largest contributor, accounting for 42.9% of GDP at basic prices. This was followed by industry and agriculture, which recorded shares of 32.6% and 24.5% respectively. Notably, the industry sector achieved the highest real GDP growth, expanding by 10.4% year-on-year, driven by growth in mining, manufacturing, and construction. The services sector followed with a 6.4% growth rate, supported by robust activity in trade, tourism, and financial services. Agriculture grew by 3.2%, with crops being the strongest performing subsector, while fishing experienced the most significant contraction.
Well, you heard Daniel Sakite bringing us that report. Now, the National Petroleum Authority has assured consumers of adequate petroleum product supplies during the festive season. Speaking to Citi Business News, Head of Communications at the NPA, Mohammed Kudus, stressed the authority's commitment to market demands during this critical period.
Our directorate responsible, that's the economic regulation and planning, and the department particularly so in charge of ensuring the regularity and sufficiency of supply of the product, that's the planning department, is actually awake to its responsibility. So the requirement of the product into the market, we are aware. What it is currently in the market, we are aware. What we have in stock, what the various marketing companies have stored, we are aware. What we need going into the future, we have planned for it. And so we do not expect any inadequacy or shortage in supply of any of the petroleum products at all going into the festive season. So I can assure from the position of the National Petroleum Authority that there would be adequate supply of petroleum products for all consumers who would need them.
That was Mohammed Kudus, Head of Communications at the National Petroleum Authority. Now, Telecel has awarded winners of its Telecel More Money promo, or several customers have received various cash prizes in the daily and weekly draws across the country, amounting to a total of 4.5 million cedis. The overall winner, 20-year-old Ellen Oparibia Akoy, walked home with a cash prize of 1 million cedis. On speaking to the media, Samuel Sapon, the General Manager of Sales and Distribution at Telecel Ghana, highlighted the success of the promo and assured customers of more exciting promotions in the upcoming year.
We've rewarded people across the length and breadth of Ghana, from Accra through to Ashanti, Sunyani, and to the northern part of Ghana. So it captured everybody within the country, and we've seen the impact and the excitement of this promo, where people are using the money to expand their businesses, people are using the money for educational purposes, and there are touching stories of somebody in Upper West where they were living in an uncompleted building, no electricity, and suddenly they win 30,000 Ghana cedis, and this changed their livelihood. So it's been very impactful in this era of the promo, and we must say this is not just the end of promo by Telecel. We encourage our loyal customers and those who are not using Telecel to watch out for our next promo.
Samuel Sapong is the General Manager of Sales and Distribution at Telecel Ghana. Well, that's how we wrap up the Friday edition of Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Akosia Ontre. Do stay with us. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go, the go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
This advert is FDA approved. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
My name is Umaru Sandamado. This is 97.3 Citi FM, the second part of Eyewitness News. On the first part of Eyewitness News, I spoke to the Director of Research with the Electoral Commission, Fred Tete, in relation to the collation of parliamentary election results that are ongoing, which were frozen, but which have been ordered to be defrozen, or which order appears again to be frozen. Now, Fred Tete said that a number of the constituencies, 9 of them, need to be recollated. He mentioned that the collation that happened in Tema Central was unlawful. The Member of Parliament elect, or the MP elect for Tema Central, is Ebi Bright. She has actually called into the show ostensibly to react to what the EC official has said. Let me speak to her. Madam, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Sanda, and all our listeners.
Good evening to you too. What difficulty do you have, I believe, with the interview I had earlier?
Well, I'm just scandalized by the conduct of Mr. Tete or Tete. I'm not sure what his name is.
Tete, Fred Tete.
Okay, so Mr. Tete is a very embarrassing fellow. You talk about people being held at gunpoint to declare results, and you claim that this is the first time in the history of all your electioneering that you're experiencing such a thing, and yet you cannot you cannot tell us where this happened. Well, wherever it happened, and then you decide to bring in Tema Central and single us out to impugn such conduct on us on behalf of my constituents and myself. And all of us that partook in that exercise, I object, and I must express my disgust, because these are the kind of shifty fellows who speak from two sides of their mouth, and that's why we're in the situation we're in. Character and integrity has been missing from the conduct of the EC, and this is shameful. We have no confidence in you anymore because of conduct like this. You can't answer a direct question, and you decide to manufacture things. Which of your officers was assaulted in Tema Central? Which tapes exists of brutalities and beatings on any individual in Tema Central because of collation? This is awful. You kept us for 3 days just to collect parliamentary results, and you expect that people don't see through your actions and understand that you're trying to subvert our mandate?
He invited me to watch the collation of Tema Central, which produced you as the MP elect. Clearly, He's trying to say that what happened in Tema Central was unlawful. I'm not sure if it's your area. He said the one who did the declaration is not the returning officer, but rather the district officer. Can you confirm to me who declared you based on everything that you saw that night, and whether that person had locus to do so?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing. If you read the petition by the Electoral EC director, Metro Director of Tema himself, he said that he instructed his colleague with equal jurisdiction to do the declaration on his behalf. He instructed. We have no way of deciding who should do it, but just by the way, that EC director refused to allow his returning officer to perform his duties. which is very unusual. And this is conduct that needs to be investigated, because we all know that the collation process is handled by the returning officer. The returning officer was sat there the whole time, and the EC director decided that he was going to take charge of the collation. This is where we realized that there was a lot that was fishy that was going on. But it is, if that's what they decided to do, that's fine. And we collated Tema Central, save for 2 pink sheets, which were obvious forgeries and manufactured. It was obvious on the face of the pink sheets that these were manufactured. And we refused to admit those into the collation. 2 outstanding pink sheets. And that is where we collated up to. And so based on this, we said, look, you are mandated by law to declare the winner of these elections. These 2 sheets are forgeries. It cannot be admitted. We all agreed about that. And then suddenly he says, I don't care what the law says. I'm not here about the law. In my estimation, we're not going to declare her. And all of this rather is on tape. Don't expect us to turn around and go home, because it is not his decision to make. The elections were held in accordance with law. And it was a lawful process that must be followed by law. So an individual's decisions or wishes do not hold sway over the mandates that the people have invested in anyone. It was his duty to declare. And he says, I want to recuse myself from this situation, which we agreed. So if there was any form of force, then we would have forced him to do the declaration. But we allowed him to manage the process. He says, okay, so please, colleague, declare results. Because I do not feel that I want to declare these results, which is he's perfectly right to decide to do. If you don't want to do your job, you can recuse yourself.
So let me just be sure. So you're returning
into Tema Central on the back of a direct question about gunpoint to people's heads is you know, his gaslighting and is engaging in deception. He must name the constituency in question. And don't parry it onto, did you see the videos from Tema Central? Which videos show any of your officers being assaulted? He asked you if you saw the way their officer was being assaulted. We want to see if that happened. It didn't happen. So on behalf of Tema Central, I'm outraged. And I'm calling him a bald-faced liar. Because you lie either by omission or deception. And that is what he's just engaged in.
Okay. Just to be sure, so the district officer is the one who declared you, but that was because the returning officer decided not to do. Is that what happened in Tema Central?
No, that's not what happened. The metro director refused to allow the returning officer for Tema Central to do the collation in the first place. He decided to take charge of the process. His name is Ofosu Hene. And so it's on tape that he handled the collation from the beginning till its conclusion, by which point he decided that the 2 pink sheets, which, because we started with objection on 18 sheets, and we reached a consensus on 16. We finally let go on a lot of the issues that we had raised on the face of the pink sheets, until it was left with 2 pink sheets. Out of 148, we collated 146. But those 2 pink sheets were so badly done that they could not pass. They could not pass any logic. And so we said, look,
Mr. Tata
we
said,
considered on 16. This is too much.
Mr. Tata said all polling station results must be counted, and not because it's first past the post. I mean, those polling station results could tend the...
Umaru, you can bring us pink sheets to collect. I mean, if all pink sheets, all valid pink sheets must be collated. You can't manufacture pink sheets from your studios in the Citi TV or FM and ask me to present this on behalf of Tema Central into collation to declare the winner of our elections. They must be valid pink sheets. And so this can be determined by a court of law. But once we had agreed that, of course, these pink sheets cannot pass muster, it is your duty to declare. And if anybody had a problem with that, they were free to go to court and prove it right or wrong. And this was simple. But you cannot force me to admit falsifications and forgeries into my results just because it will favor you. Of course it will favor you. That's why it was done. And a lot of things in this whole process were irregular. And we've held our peace. But I think that the EC is overreaching and overstretching to recreate a situation that fits into this narrative. Whatever the conspiracy is, we've been patient with it, but I would, on behalf of the people of Tema Central, I owe them a duty to protect their mandate. And we will not allow lies on top of everything that we've gone through. You know, Tema Central has gone through a lot. You kept us for days before the declaration was made. We've accepted all your fabrications about situations that did not happen. But when you start to exaggerate happenings along this process and you slyly weave us into your narrative, we will not accept it. Please ask Mr. Tete Owo for the sake of his own integrity and any respect that is left for him after all of his conduct throughout this period, he should clarify wherever he saw for the first time in his career gun point to anybody's head to declare result. Let him make that clear. Leave Tema Central out of anything connected to narratives like that. And just for the record, we did not assault anybody. And I say we, because I speak not only for myself, but everybody that was there to support me. The police were there. Nobody laid a finger on anybody in this process or any officer of the EC. By your own free will, you appointed somebody to make a declaration that you said you were going to recuse yourself from. So after you had made all those decisions, you cannot claim that the declaration was made under duress. If it was made under duress, we would have forced you, who handled the whole process, to make the declaration.
So for you, for all intents and purposes, you believe you are the duly elected person and you've been declared same, and you would disagree with any announcement by the EC. For instance, yesterday the EC chairperson said all those results were illegally done, or those declarations were illegally done, and that would include yours. You do not agree with this?
No, I definitely do not. I mean, it's clear for anyone watching to see how they've flouted the rules. They've engaged in illegality throughout this period. And of course, I mean, all the institutions that we can have faith in, we already know. You know, a lot of these things, people experience these things. People have gone through these things. We're not the first to experience the unfairness, the illogic, and the illegality with which the EC conducts itself through all these processes leading even up to this day. So it's not like we've expected much more from them. The shamelessness is at an epic level. And I dare say that, you know, I think it's needless to say that I'm ashamed of their conduct, but that is their problem. The point is that it is clear what has happened in this election. But whether it will persist is the question. In any case, we will not roll over and say goodbye to this issue. We'll continue to stand and fight for what is right. So yes, I believe that this is wrong. I still believe it's wrong, but I will react when I think that the lies go beyond, you know, any sense of redemption.
Very well.
We will not accept a tag that is unfair. As far as you deciding that my declaration, which was witnessed by everyone as a very peaceful and simple process after all the shenanigans, if you decide that it was unlawful, that is yours to say. But to bring about stories about what has happened already, to which you have no proof, that is not a subjective matter. It's a matter of fact, and we will not accept it.
Very well. Now, just in concluding this, what was the vote difference for your win, and how many votes were to come from those two polling stations whose results you believe were fictitious? I want us to just do the math together to see if it will make sense.
To be honest with you, I honestly can't tell, and it's not of much concern to me. I am just concerned that we have a free and fair process. If it comes out through all the maths that is just and fair, that he is ahead of me, then that's fine. But the truth is that I won these elections, and I will not allow myself to be cheated. So I don't know. I can't give you a figure to now or tomorrow or any other time. We're waiting to make sure that no pink sheets that were manufactured, as far as we are concerned and as far as we're able, are admitted into the results for Tema Central.
Do your agents for those 2 polling stations have their pink sheets which were issued at the close of polls?
We have our pink sheets. It's based on the pink sheets that we were issued, and those of the EC and those of the NPP that were making these assertions.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sander, and good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, and congratulations, at least for now.
Oh yes, for forever, inshallah. Bye-bye.
All the best. That's Ibi Bright. She's the NDC Parliamentary or NDC MP elect for Tema Central, without prejudice to any of the processes that are happening. The Electoral Commission saying that declaration was unlawful, even though she holds the view that she was declared by an officer of the Electoral Commission and it was not done under duress, as has been claimed by the EC. And that is one of many other issues that are being contested in the courts. Let me also remind you that there was a decision today by the courts awarding a decision or a request to the New Patriotic Party for the recollation to continue, and for the Inspector General of Police, IGP, to be ordered to send his men to protect electoral officers at the police depot or wherever the collation center may be happening. Earlier this evening, there was a voice. Earlier this evening, there was a press conference by the police, at which press conference Grace Akrofi-Ansah of the Police Public Affairs Department said that they were going to invite military personnel to back their police personnel to do the collation. I just want us to listen to that, and then I'll give you the update following that.
The task force assured the Electoral Commission of its readiness to provide the needed security for the outstanding collations. In addition, the Commission reminded the task force that during the collation, only individuals accredited by the Commission should be allowed access to the collation centers. In this regard, there will be a joint police and military deployment for the exercise. We wish to caution the public that non-accredited persons will not be permitted at the centers. Also, the task force would like to urge the political parties to refrain from inciting their supporters to mass up at the collation centers to disrupt the process. We wish to state that throughout the election period, including this post-election phase, the National Election Security Task Force has put Ghana first. We have put the peace and security of the country first, and we will continue to do so.
So that's Grace, ACP Grace Akrofi-Ansah. She's Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service. Well, so after that, we saw a court process by the NDC, which is seeking to prevent the police from deploying for purposes of the collation. The NDC believes that the collation is unlawful and illegal, asking that anyone who is aggrieved by the declared result should go to court. So, well, that's where we are now. 9 outstanding constituencies or contested constituencies. The NDC believes that the areas where it was declared for them belongs to them. The MPP insists that the declarations were not done fairly. The EC says the declaration was done under duress, and so it's going to do a recollation. The NDC has said under the law there can be no recollation. You can only go to court to challenge a decision of a returning officer. It is as murky as it can get. Again, as if to make matters worse, the budget has not been presented. So from 31st December, the budget that was voted would have expired, and so from January 1st, 2025, we'll be running on autopilot, or we'll be running dry, at least until contingency measure is put in place. We do not know if that will be done by this 8th Parliament, or we would have to wait for the 9th Parliament to be sworn in for that to be done. Be that as it may, Eyewitness News is effectively terminated for the day and for the week. We'll be back on Monday at 17:30 GMT. If you want more news and current affairs and analysis, tune in to Channel 1 Television at 8 p.m. Zoe Abubedu Ado would be on with Channel 1 Newsroom, CNR. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, Salom Kojo Adonu would be on Channel 1 TV and Citi FM to bring you the big issue, where they'll be doing further analysis of the issues that have come up. Eyewitness News returns on Monday. My name is Umaru Sanda Amado. I did this with Akusia Oche. Production tonight by Kobina Wilson. The technical support from Daniel Squashi, and new media support from Emmanuel Owusu and his new media team. We'll be back, like I said, on Monday, God willing. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.